Hello everyone, a very good afternoon and welcome to the OCI Essilor Knowledge Plus series. This is a lecture series which we began this year. These lectures happen once in 2 months, and for people who have been following us, this is the fourth of the lecture series, and it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all today for the fourth lecture, which is dispensing premium progressive edition lenses. And to present this talk, we have Mr. Mehul Kamlesh Gosalia, who is an optometrist who graduated from the Leeds School of Optometry. He holds a master's in clinical optometry from Shankara Eye Hospital, and he holds the fellowship in British Dispensing Opticians from Abdo College, UK. He is a member of the Madras Optical Association, the Optometry Council of India, and also a member of IACL. He is the owner of the True Vision Opticals in Chennai. He has vast clinical experience in dispensing optics. He is a visiting lecturer at Shankara Eye Hospital, Pammal, teaching optometric optics, dispensing optics, and contact lenses to the undergraduate and postgraduate students over there. And he's also a junior from my undergrad school. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome Mehul and introduce him to all of you. And this is a very important topic. In fact, I'm more eager or anxious to know about dispensing high-end premium progressive edition lenses, because the market is flooded with the high-end progressive edition lenses, and with contact lens dispensing. This was the topic of our previous lecture from Dr. Pancham. And so to cover that up, we have dispensing high-end premium progressive edition lenses. So I'm very eager to hear from Mehul. Over to you, Mehul.
Yes, everybody, good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
I'm audible. Okay. Welcome all. I thank OCI and I also thank Dr. Anita for giving me this opportunity to talk on this big platform here. And my topic for today is dispensing high-end premium progressive lenses. So firstly, the PAL story in just a short brief up. PALs were commercially available in 1959, so we are more than 60 years now. Up to the 1990s, the PALs could be dispensed in specific frames only. So the PALs were available in large corridors, so we used to use only bigger frames for them to be dispensed. In the early 2000s, the PALs were designed to fit various frame heights, so they are available in different corridors, and hence we had more options of frames for PALs. But however, till date, we are now in 2022, till date, wearers are getting adapted to progressive lenses. So let us find out if the progressive lens can adapt to the wearer. And one more thing, that is these things on the top, I'm not able to remove that, so it's getting a little disturbing. Can somebody help me? Would me or ma'am? I'll just try to push it away. 1 minute, please. I'll just take it to the bottom. Fine. Let's go to the next screen. So first, let us understand. Am I audible?
Yes, Mehul, but it can be little more louder.
Little more louder. Okay, fine. So let us understand with different design concepts, the next generation to personalization. We have been speaking about personalization, and prior to that, it was customization. And now, what is the latest after personalization? We'll try to understand what are the new things that we have after personalization. The first one is basically the unique concept. Okay, I'm going to talk to you about 4 different concepts which 4 different companies are pitching about. Right? I'm not going to name those companies, but I will tell you definitely the technologies and how unique they are, all of them. So the first concept which I'm going to talk to you about is basically the unique concept. Every person is unique here. You know that every fingerprint is unique. Every iris pattern is unique. Right? So why don't we have a progressive lens which is unique for every wearer? Is that possible? Well, let us see. So the concept here, if you see, is the unique design pattern, which is based on 3 things. There are these 3 important insights which this company or this technology is talking about. First one is the needs. The second one is the preferences, and third one is the viewing habits. If you talk about the needs, they're talking about the maximized usable area which a person can use. If you talk about preferences, it is your personalized So personalized preference to what is the vision need that you are requiring. The third one is your viewing habit. Your viewing habit could be even your older progressive lenses for which you are designed to actually read. You have got adapted to it in terms of the head posture. So if you talk about this unique design, this is based on three things. As I told you, the needs, which maximizes the usable area for a prescription, the user preferences, which is personalized to your preferred vision, the user habits, which recognizes and adapts your viewing habits. So what's the magic? Let's understand what is new here. The new thing is residual aberration. We have always been talking about aberrational astigmatism at the periphery. We are talking about the blur. We are talking about the jump. We are talking about light not getting focused. But here we are going to talk about the residual aberration, okay, and how it can be distributed for every user, for every eye. So now these residual aberrations, they can be distributed in three ways actually. One minute, just let me push this off again. It's troubling me. Okay, so that one, the first one is the hard one, where these residual aberrations are densely packed. Then you have the balanced one, where the spread is uniformly across. It is not the spread of the power, it's the spread of the residual aberration. And the third one is the softer one, where the spread across the surface is very, very soft. Now, what do you mean by residual aberration? I'll just put it very, very shortly that what is residual aberration? Post optimization, after using the best technology in the world for progressive lenses, that is post optimization. Post using the best aberration surface filter, which has been which has been there from I think 2013 onwards now. Post using the reverse lateral deformation technology. Post steepening the lens zone, which is coming closer to your eyes and increasing the field of view. In spite of all these things, there is definitely some amount of aberration which is left around, which is known as the residual aberration. So now what is the challenge? The challenge is to make this residual aberration as invisible as possible to the wearer. We have to live with these aberrations, but they're already so low, but still we are trying to make it invisible as possible to the wearer. Let's see how. So first, as I told you, we're going to talk about the needs. The needs basically is your prescription. So based on the prescription, the design which provides the maximum viewing area is chosen, and this is being done by the software. So they are high-end, advanced mathematical algorithmic softwares which are there. So we take this example here. There's a prescription of Pespo here. This person wants to read something on his mobile phone, and you see on the right-hand side, you can see I'm just showing my arrow mark here. You can see that there are two options which are there, and there is a softer design and there is a sharper design. But however, the softer design has been chosen over the sharper design because in order to maximize the field of view. Why is that so? Because this is a +4, it has a pin cushion distortions, the aberrations are much more higher as compared to a minus prescription, especially at the periphery. Second one, we are going to talk about preferences. And when you talk about preferences, here we are going to evaluate the sensitivity to aberration. Now you must be thinking, what do you mean by evaluation to sensitivity to the aberration? How are you going to evaluate this? So there is another software which my system was not able to accept or download because it's a little older version of the Windows, but it was fantastic. Here what happens is there are approximately 17 slides. Okay, the first slide is blurred, the second one is a little better or clearer than the first one, and it goes on up to the 17th slide. When I tested it for myself on the 9th slide, I was able to see things very, very clearly. But then as I went to the 10th, 11th, 12th, it was much more clearer. But for me, my sensitivity to aberration stopped at slide number 9, right? So that was at the level up to which I'm able, after which everything is going to be clear. Up to that level, I'm going to have or experience that sensitivity. I'm going to experience that sensitivity. So the same amount of residual aberration, we can distribute it very differently to creating varying characteristics. So this is very important here. The third one is the viewing habits. So what are viewing habits? Habits are hard to change. Now, if you see the life cycle of a progressive lens, they generally are from 2 to 4 years, and sometimes it might be even little more than 4 years. So the angle at which the eye rotates from the center portion of it, that is from the straight ahead position to the reading zone, the angle. Now, if you take this example, let's say the angle, the eye has to move to around 15.6 degrees to reach the power of +1, and it's having a certain height at which it is going through. But whereas to reach the same power, you will see that lens 2, the patient is moving only up to 10.2 degrees, right? So there are certain habits which every lens user would have. So in this lens, we are going to actually use these details to match and adapt to the new type of technology which is coming up here. So when the ultimate match is achieved by using all these three things, the needs, the preferences, and the previous one which I spoke about, which I'm not getting in my mind. Okay, so the ultimate match is achieved. The entire residual aberration is invisible. Residual aberration is there, but it is made invisible when the needs, preferences, and habits come together and the spread of the residual aberration happens. So isn't this amazing? This is one of the best amazing technologies which I've heard or seen. So here, what are the dispensing requirements which are there here? So the most important dispensing requirements which are there is going to be, just 1 minute. Yeah, it's going to be your pupillary distances, your frame details, which are definitely required. That's your A size, your B size, your D size. Then the shape of the frame is very much essential. The pantoscopic tilt, the wrap angle, the back vertex distance. Up to this, almost all the premium progressive lenses or personalized progressive lenses required. But after this, there are two more important things which are required: is the sensitivity testing application, which is very, very important in order to use these lenses or get these lenses. The other one, we'll have to also get the old progressive design along with this corridor length. It could be any brand progressive lens, right? This software is going to find out what is the angle at which the eye has moved to in order to get you to the same old habit, right? So that you are instantly comfortable by using these lenses. So this was the first concept. I hope you liked it. It was something new to you, and there is a lot more in this. Just have given you a small brief up of this. Let's go to the second concept. The second concept is lifestyle. Today, everybody is speaking about lifestyle changes, right? And most of the companies have formatted their new designs based on the lifestyle changes. So, based on lifestyle changes, a drastic shift in the way we use digital devices have happened, right? So, as you know, that things are coming closer and closer to us. The eye movement is more than the head movements. Sure, the eye gaze has changed. We have started looking more downwards than looking forward. So this requires a larger field of view. The requirement is actually more than double. So if you talk about standard progressive lenses, if you see this diagram here, the dynamic vision is quite poor. What do you mean by dynamic vision? When you are on the move and you're doing something, that is the new generation people, how they're moving across. They want to do things, I would say multiple things at a time. So they're walking and going, they're moving around. They want to look at a distance, they want to look at the size. The eye gaze is moving at different points, at different angles. But if you're going to use even your conventional lenses, absolutely it's not going to be useful. Your customized lenses will not work. Your personalized lenses might work to some extent. But here, it's very important that so that is a technology here, which is going to help you to eliminate this type of distortions and improve your dynamic vision. So what is this technology? This technology is known as the smart dynamic optics technology. Along with age intelligence parameters are used here. So what happens here basically? They are smoothing the peripheral distortion, which is right in front of the gaze that has been identified. They are reducing the perceived blur, and the pupil size is very, very important in order to distribute the surface power. So as you know that as our age increases, the pupil size is going to go down. So if a person is quite young, his pupil size is larger, we'll have to distribute the entire power zone in such a way that these distortions are away from the peripheral area, sorry, from the pupillary area. So this is a very good, amazing technology. Now, if you see this, what really happens here is with the smart dynamic optics technology, there's a substantial increase in the field of view, reducing in the perceived blur, and dynamic vision is at its best. So this was The concept 2, I made it very short. There's a lot to this, but these are the most important points which are there here. Then you have your dispensing requirements. The dispensing requirements here are, as usual, it's going to be the PD, the frame details, the shape, endoscopic tilt, the wrap angle, the back vertex distance. The most important thing here is your patient age, okay? Because we are going to use the pupillary size or age intelligence parameters are going to be utilized here, right? So this was about the second concept which we have seen. I hope you liked it. And let's go on to the third concept. The third concept is 90% of the time is spent indoors, right? We all believe you're all sitting indoors and you're all watching me. You're all listening to me. Most of us are using intermediate and near vision. Close vision is associated with personal space and highly emotional situations. So this concept is an excellent concept, right? So this concept, there are a couple of technologies to this. We will talk one by one. The first technology is the Xtend technology. So here what's basically happening is we are taking care of not the main dynamic vision which is being covered here, but it's the dynamic near vision. That is dynamic near vision from near to multi-vision, from near to multiple vision is being taken care of, which is going to cater to the arm's length vision, and people will have minimum head movement if they're going to see to the areas which are closer by. Then you have Xtend technology which is coming. This is the Xtend technology. This accounts for the full variety of visual needs at near, the full variety of visual needs, right? Multiple near distances ranging from 40 centimeters to an arm's length distance. And the area covered by the eye is from 22 to 34 degrees. And that's really huge. That is, without moving your head, you're able to cover an angle of 22 to 34 degrees if it has been optimized well. So how is this possible, right? The various volumes of needs were captured. So what do you mean by volumes of need? So sitting in one place, what are all the volumes of activities that you are doing, right? It could be using your mobile phone, your tablet, your laptops, your keyboard, your PC monitors, etc., right? So the volumes of needs were captured. Then the near visual zone was reshaped. We know that the near visual zone is quite small, it's centered, but this is entirely reshaped. It is designed specifically for an arm's length vision. So what happens here? So once the optimization happens through the Xtend technology, it aids in minimum head movements. People enjoy the volume of vision for multiple near vision distances. So as you can see here, this is the earlier technology which was there. But now, without moving your head, you're able to see a huge from, say, your mobile phone, your tablets, and it can be stretched a little more down there also. So you're getting multiple near vision distances. Just a minute, please. I just pushed this down. It's really troubling me. Okay, great. So what is the user experience? The user experience here is of the highest level. The highest level of user experience the highest level of user experience is achieved. Multitasking is the age what people want, and if they're able to do that with these glasses, nothing like that. So what is the second technology in the same group? That's known as the 4D technology. I hope you have heard of this 4D technology quite a number of times, right? It combines the various physiological data, the behavioral data, and the postural data also. Let's see how it works. So what is the physiological data basically? The physiological data is the fitting parameters. It's the eye rotation center. It is the dominant eye, and all this can be captured precisely with the help of this equipment which is known as the Visio Office. The behavioral data is also measured through reproduction of familiar near vision daily activities. So the near vision behavior becomes quite important here. So what's next in 4D technology? Yes. We have the visual behavior. So what do you mean by visual behavior? It is the way your patient reads the head and the eye movement. Okay, it's not only the head and eye movement. Sometimes it's only the eye movement. So it's a visual behavior which is being captured. Next one, we have the postural data which is being captured here. So in this, there are three important things which have been taken care of. One is the gaze, that's a vertical head tilt. Second is the working distance. And the third one is the lateral offset, which is the horizontal head tilt. The fourth and most important point here is the eye code technology. The eye code technology is nothing but it measures the eye rotation center, right? It measures the center of your eye, how much it can actually move around. This helps us to maximize the performance of every design here. So this is going to provide you an uncompromised vision. The highest level of satisfaction is achieved. So this is one of the most best, or I would say one of the most popular selling lenses in the world, right? And what are the dispensing requirements here? So as we see the table, the distance PD, the frame details, which is the A, B, D, and the fitting height, the shape, the pantoscopic wrap, back vertex distance. The most important thing after this is your eye rotation center, right? Which is for which you need the visio office, the head to eye ratio for which you need the visio office, and that equipment itself. Great. So what is the last concept which I'm going to talk to you about now? Right. So the last concept is a design matched concept. So what do you mean by a design matched? It's matched to what? It's matched to your visual age. So you're going to ask me, sir, you have asked, you know what the age is, but what's the visual age? I tell you, visual age, visual behavior, and the presbyopic and the presbyo preferences. So what do you mean by the visual age? The correlation between the patient's chronological age, that's my current age, is the chronological age, and the physiological age, that is how the eye is performing irrespective of the person's age, and the addition power. The correlation between these three, that is a new lens design which is being there. It has been created or generated using complex algorithms. Artificial intelligence has been used here. It's very easy for me to put across these 3 points, but it is very difficult to get data out of this, right? So for which you need a head-eye integrative movement software, right? This technology is known as the EyePoint artificial intelligence technology. This identifies the actual viewing angles computed for every distance. I'm looking at different distances. My eye is moving from here, there, and the angles of them are computed. They also pinpoint the exact location from where the patient looks through the lens, which point of my glass I'm looking through the lens, okay, both vertically and horizontally. It identifies the various zones while they perform visual tasks. So with the help of this software, right, the patient will be able to identify the various zones through which they're performing those specific tasks, right? So now a small, just a minute. Okay. So if you see the current designs across all ads, right, the tasks performed by various age groups are very, very different. They need different zones for different needs. Yeah, definitely we accept that. We need different zones for different needs. But however, there is no change in the zones of the visual need with an increase in age. So if you just see this chart here, it's a very beautiful chart here. I just pushed this. I'm just sorry. I pressed something wrong. Okay. Yeah, we're here. It's again troubling me. I'm just taking it a little away so that I can see that. Okay, fine. So if you really see here, it's still not got away. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. So if you just look at the x-axis, which is there in the horizontal meridian, if you see the visual age at say 1 addition, at 2 addition, and at say 3 addition, right? The zone, the near vision zone, which has been given, is just around 20%, and this is across the entire visual age group. Even the digital reading zones are the same. The intermediate zones are the same. The switching distances, in fact, the switching distances frequency is more among the youngsters, okay? And the far zone is the same. So this is definitely not going to be useful for these guys. It's not going to give a wow experience. We have to try something new and different. Next slide. Yeah. So what does this EyePoint artificial intelligence technology do? Now look at this chart, a beautiful chart. It identifies the various visual demands and the needs. It identifies based on the user experience and providing age matched designs. So if you see here, at the age of 1.5, the near work is close to say around 15%. For a 2.5%, it's close to around 25%. And for a 3 addition and a 3.5 actually it's close to around 30-35%, which is absolutely fine. We know that people, as they grow older, the near vision keeps on increasing. And then if you talk about digital reading, yes, it is there, but it keeps going down as again the addition is increasing. The intermediate is quite almost the same, with after 1.75 to around 3.5 ad, which is across the globe, the intermediate usage is much more. Switch frequency distances. Just see this. A patient who's having an addition of 0.75 or 1, you see that yellow line, 50 to 80%, a huge area. But whereas if you are going to see among the visual age group of 2.75 to 3.5, it's going down. So people switch less distances. Okay, the frequency at which they switch distances is much lesser as the visual age is increasing. Right. So what are the dispensing requirements here? It's the first few points are all the same. The last point is very important. The head-eye integrative movement software is required for us to use or to dispense this particular lens. Okay. So what does all these technologies give to the wearer? It provides an effortless. I finished my 4 latest innovations in the dispensing technology. But please don't log off. Please, there are certain more things which you have to, which we have to see. So all these lenses, it provides us an effortless, seamless viewing experience. This is basically for customer delight. We need to have a 360-degree approach for what this is. So what do you mean by 360-degree approach? It's not that if I have the best of knowledge, best of information, I'll be able to sell or dispense these progressive, high-end progressive, premium progressive lenses. No, it's not going to work. The store concepts have to be very strong. The ambience, the interiors have to be premium. Lighting, the display, the collection what you have, they also have to be premium. You need to have the right kind of staff. They have to be professional. They have to look professional. They need to be humble. They have the right attitude, good communication skills, and they need to be updated with the latest products, because today your patients are more updated than you. What's the role of an optometrist? The role of an optometrist is the key, I would say, in the entire process of selling high-end premium progressive lenses. They need to have a professional approach. Comprehensive eye examination definitely is required. They generally quantify the vision, but what they do here is they understand the patient well, because the patient opens up to the optometrist. He provides the right recommendation to the patients, and he suggests the perfect solution. Just not recommending and suggesting is important. Please, it has to be earmarked on your prescription. That's very important. So then we have a spectacle advisor here. He listens to the intent to understand the patient. He should understand and communicate very clearly. He should pitch on the various solutions earmarked by the optometrist, and he should speak with confidence and win the confidence of the patient. He shouldn't prejudge the client and conclude things. Okay, so what else apart from store concepts? We need to have premium tools. We need to have premium, excellent tools for frame selection. We need to have virtual lens selection software, right? It's very important. If you're just going to talk, it's not going to work. You have to show them. Once you're going to show them virtually, they'll be able to understand things better. Then you need to have premium measuring devices, like the one which I told you earlier. This one is the Visio Office. And this one is the VisuFit 1000, which gives us precise measurements on all the requirements, whatever we want to dispense this high-end progressive lenses. Why pitch on premium progressive lenses? We need to pitch on premium progressive lenses because operational astigmatism is there to stay, definitely. Higher lifestyle demands are there. Continuously changing lifestyle patterns are seen. Multitasking is evolving, it is growing. So what is the expectation? What do we expect from the progressive users? They want to keep up with their pace in life. They want to navigate seamlessly with fluidity in their multitasking world. They want clarity of mind. They want to and they want to focus in their work. So it's very important that you give them a lens which they don't have to adapt to. To whom you can offer these lenses? Premium clients who wants the best. Okay. Existing progressive users who would like to upgrade. Dissatisfied progressive users. And please do not judge your clients. Pitch these products to all of them. So what are the selling processes here? Okay. So you can use AV, audio visual devices, to demonstrate. You should give them a virtual feel. You should pitch on the value rather than the cost. That's very important. explain based on the FAB method, that is the feature, advantage, and the benefit method. You should always have a pull strategy. You should not have a push strategy. Don't try to push things to your end user. Okay, give them the details. They'll definitely be attracted and they'll be pulled back, and provide active recommendations. So this is a small example. You can have some charts like this, that what are the features and benefits, so that you can easily upsell your products. So what are the do's and don'ts? First, let me talk about the do's. Do talk about the added features and benefits that every superior lens provides. That's very important. Give realistic recommendations. Expectations vary from user to user, and lower the bar. Very important. Lower the bar in terms that you give slightly reduced expectation. The product and the consumer experience will speak for itself. So what are the things we might miss out? Now, just coming to the end of the session. So what are the things that we might miss out? Okay, timely delivery is very important. Sometimes we commit, but we are not able to deliver it on time. Take sufficient time, because they are all premium products. Provide premium cases. Provide superior microfiber cloths. Provide proper cleaning instructions, and the patient recall is very, very important. Wish you all a very, very happy selling premium progressive lenses. If you have liked, please click on the like button, who are all viewing it on YouTube. And one small thing which I have for these people, after going through these topics, I was just overwhelmed by these people. I salute to all the researchers, the scientists, the development team, and all others globally who have worked so hard to bring in such technologically advanced products for our comfort. A special thanks to Mr. Shajan from Essilor Luxottica, Anantalakshmi ma'am, who's here from Essilor Luxottica, Mr. Krishna, who has helped and supported me a lot, Mr. Anand from Delta Lab Recon, Mr. Abhijit from Zeiss, Ms. Mitra from Zeiss India, and Rushabh, my son, who is still standing here, and all the others who have contributed to the success, which I feel is successful, to the success of this presentation. Thank you very much. This is Mehul Gosalia. The future is here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mehul, for that very interesting talk of yours. I mean, it clearly shows the amount of effort that you have taken to put this all together and shared with us the latest technologies in terms of dispensing premium high-end progressive edition lenses. I was, in fact, very enamored by the AI-enabled technology that you were talking about, where, you know, people mostly are familiar with the head and eye movement personalization that you get with dispensing progressive lenses, but it has gone much, much beyond just head and eye movement recording alone. So all these are really very interesting. So I hope there are some good questions coming up from the audience who have been listening to you from on the Zoom platform, as well as from the Facebook Live audience. And joining Mr. Mehul today is Ms. Anantalakshmi from Essilor Luxottica, who is the professional services head there. And she will be the panelist and will be joining Mehul in answering the queries or take up any questions for discussion. So welcome, Anantalakshmi. So before we have any questions, okay, we have one question from the audience who wants to know what are the challenges you as a dispenser face while you dispense these premium or high-end progressive edition lenses.
The challenge, yeah. Actually, the most important challenge is the value proposition. We basically have to put across that the amount of money which the consumer is spending is much lesser than what he's actually getting. If you're able to prove that, then he's going to buy it from you. And to prove that, you need a whole set of, it's a 360 degrees holistic setup, that the whole concept is required. It's not just your knowledge, it is just not your brand image. Everything is going to matter. The store layout, your optometrist, everything is going to, the equipments on which you are showing. So it's not an easy task. It's a very good question, and it's very difficult even for me to sell very high-end progressive lenses, to be very frank. But yes, we have to do that because that is the future.
Anything to add there, Anant Lakshmi?
So yes, I would agree with Mehul. I think it's all about bringing the value to the table. He put it very rightly. The value which you are going to showcase to the customer, he should feel that he's going to be benefited by the value. So I think you need to probe the customer, understand his requirements, and showcase how the value is very, very important for his lifestyle. I think that is what is very, very important. You match his lifestyle, you match his requirements with the value which you're going to bring in to him. You know, if that both matches, I think then it becomes an easy win for both for you as well as for him.
Thanks, both of you. So I have a question, Mehul. When you are going to be targeting dispensing high-end or premium progressive edition lenses, do you think a dissatisfied progressive lens wearer is more of your target for upselling these products, or would you look at someone who is very happy with the current progressive lenses and they would be a potential premium lens wearer? Who are more ideally suited for you to dispense a premium progressive lens?
See, ideally the person who is having a problem with his current progressive lenses is going to be an easy catch. No, it's going to be much easier for us to explain that because of the technological advances which are there now, he can probably shift from the current using design to the premium designs. So that's one thing we can do. But if a person is already happy or convinced, he has no problem with his existing progressive lenses, now converting him is going to be a task. It's not going to be easy. But if you are going to, as ma'am said, I really like that point. If you are going to pitch on his lifestyle, if you are going to pitch on something that he's doing on a regular basis, for example, I had a client who does yoga, and I told him that if you're going to use this design, which is having a flexible viewing angle to view, in which, like, yoga is all about that, then you can wear your glasses on and you can do your yoga, watch the screen and you can do your yoga. And he was convinced just by that one point, and he bought it. He was not that he was unhappy with his previous lenses, but his previous lenses didn't have this point in that. So we'll definitely have to catch both the audiences. I mean, both the consumers who are unsatisfied, but yes, unsatisfied customers, they are expecting more now because they have already burned their fingers. Now they have to spend a little more. So you have to take more care of them and see to that they're happy at every stage. Any small stage at which some unhappiness goes through, they are going to feel that they have been cheated. So this is what I would say. Both are important to us.
Yeah. I would also have one more thing, just to add what Mehul rightly said. One way of also understanding whether this person can be given a high-end panel on. One could also be the frame selections. If they go for a very, very high branded frame, you can always pitch in because they want some finesse in their eyewear. So they could also be one of the target customers whom you can actually talk about a high-end and spectacle lens. I mean, these are all some pointers, necessarily not that they will have to take, but they are more closer to taking a high-end pass because they are looking in for a high-end eyewear. That is point number one. Second thing is also when you're talking about the high-end lenses, it is very important for us to pitch in the right way, as I told you earlier, and also bring in the value proposition. So in this case, like how Mehul rightly said, you are understanding the requirements of the customer and then you're pitching in. So the acceptance is much more faster. Second thing is also, it is not about talking only about the product. I think from A to Z, you have to bring in that level of premiumness. It's as simple as even giving a delivery of the spectacle lens. Even that is something which has to be more premium. So what I mean by premiumness is, it's like, for example, I'm just giving a very very rough thought. Suppose you get the lenses from the manufacturer, from the lab. Maybe it might be wrapped in something, and then you actually open it in front of the customer. You have to ensure that you actually unwrap the lenses, clean the lenses, put it in a nice box. And then the way in which you deliver the lenses also has to show the premiumness. No, small things is very, very important. It may look very trivial, but you need to understand that customers are seeing you. They want everything to be premium. So when you are actually even giving a delivery, the communication, everything has to be really that level for you to convince a customer.
Totally agree to that. It's like, visiting a fine dine restaurant, I would say. I mean, you get the same food items in a low budget restaurant also, but then you're paying a premium cost to the same food item because of the ambience and so many fine dine experience that they call, which is getting very popular nowadays. So I think that translates to, premium dispensing as well. And
very well said.
Yeah.
It's the experience. I would put it in one word. If you have to sum up what is it which is very important for high-end dispensing, I would say it's the experience of premiumness. That is one single word which is going to be very, very important for your customer. If he understands, yes, when I go there, I'm going to get a very, I would say, very lavish experience of experiencing vision, experiencing the product, experiencing the services. I think that is the main ingredient for success of selling or rather dispensing a high-end progressive lens.
So, with respect to dispensing, Mehul, if I may ask you that we are dependent on so many equipment, right? For taking measurements, there are so many equipment which are contactless also. So are there chances of going wrong? Like, for instance, if something taken manually, it's prone to human error. Likewise, when you're dispensing something, a very premium or a high-end product, so what are the chances of going wrong in such cases?
See, what are the chances of going wrong? The chances of going wrong are a little lesser if everything is going on fine, perfectly. But if there's a small error, then the whole thing will go wrong badly. That is the problem here, because everything is on software. You don't know whether it has been designed as per what you have given. You can't see, you can just interpret that it is going to be good as what I have given. The data what I've given is fine, or the data even what I've taken is fine. But software errors, bugs, anything can happen. So that's going to be a bigger risk factor in terms of manufacturing, in terms of taking data, no doubt. But if you're doing things, say manually, the least count is more larger. For example, I can give a PD, say in 0.01 mm. Yeah. So, and even in terms of prescription, I can go in steps of 0.01. I can go if it is going to be through the high-end equipment. But if it is going to be manually, I know it's 0.25, it's 0.25, right? So as we go higher up the level, there are chances that we might go wrong. But if we go wrong, we might go terribly wrong there. So this is my experience. I've never had any major, probably one or two as there, but almost 99% of the cases, that's what, no problems.
Yeah,
thanks. I think ma'am will be able to say
thanks, Mehul. I think you need to understand that we are the creators of those devices. Okay, so end of the day, we are the ultimate. So those instruments will never lie or will not be wrong. Still, the human intervention is there. So I just give you some examples. Now, most of these devices will be actually giving you the boxing phenomenon. Okay, you actually take the measurements and then you can actually box the lenses on the screen. I'm just giving you a very simple thing. Now, what happens if you don't box properly? Now, it is trying to take your PD and your height is basically more or aligned with your boxing phenomenon. Okay, your bridge size, everything is more in terms of your boxing phenomenon. If you don't do that properly, okay, because that is all manual. So there is a system in which you have to do certain things. If you are not following it, then I don't think we have to blame the device. That is one thing. Second thing is, most of these devices speak to your sensors. So you have a sensor which has to be worn, and then the sensor speaks to the device. That's how you get your measurements. Now, these devices have to be, or the sensors have to be aligned properly. Now, there are errors. There are a lot of notifications. If you are not sensitive to those alerts and notifications, then there is a problem. There is also a minimum value, maximum value, which is also there. You need to be really aligned to the instrument well before you actually use them and use it in the proper way. So if it is done, then I don't think there is going to be any chance of errors.
Thanks, Anant. I have a question for you, Anant Lakshmi. So you as a company, how do you support practitioners who've been dispensing progressive lenses and who want to venture into high-end progressive dispense? What is the kind of support that any company offers to the dispensers in terms of upgrading their knowledge, their skill, or upgrading the devices? What kind of support that the company offers to the dispensers?
Thanks, Anita, for putting this question across. So each company has their level of technology, right? And the devices and everything is complementing the technology which they are actually bringing it to the customer. So ideally, they will have high-end instrumentations. So these instruments, as I told you earlier, they are quick to access. And the more you know about the eye, better is to dispense. So if you're looking at the earlier generation of progressive lenses, we used to say take only PD. Then we said, no, it is not binocular PD. You have to take monocular PD and then fitting height and go ahead. Then we said it's just not PD and height. You also need to know your frame parameters, because that is also equally important. Then we said, no, you need to ensure that you need to understand the behavioral aspects of the customer, how he's actually interacting for various visual tasks. Then we talked about head-eye movements. Why head-eye movements? Basically because the size of the frame matters. So if you're going to be a very high mover, of a head mover, okay, then what happens? Your size of the frame, you can actually go in for a bigger size frame. If you're going to be a eye mover, then a small size frame would be okay. So we had various, I would say this since 1959, when the first progressive lens was launched, till this date, and even in future, there's a lot of things which is happening in the technology of progressive lenses. I would say this is one category which is the most happening category in the entire ophthalmic dispensing sector. So having said that, we bring in a lot of innovations. And if you look at, as a manufacturer, we don't stop just because a product sells very good today. Okay, we don't stop our innovations at that, because we need to understand that customers' lifestyle is changing, their habits are changing, their expectations are different. So we need to be innovating very, very frequently. So if you see, most of the products, either we launch it new or we try to bring in the next version of the product. Now, why is the next version product? We feel it can be even more better to cater to the needs of the customer. So as a manufacturer, as a lens industry, what we do is we constantly innovate a lot of technologies in terms of the customer's expectation. I think everything revolves around the consumer. It works backward. It's not that as a company, we innovate things and then the consumer takes it across. No. We understand our consumers' needs, through practitioners like people here. We take surveys, we understand them, we understand what is the requirement, what is the trend of the consumers, and then we build the brands. That's how the technology comes in. So to answer your question in brief, it is basically that the technology is actually mapped with the customer's requirement. As a manufacturer, we bring in the technology to the table, and we also bring in a lot of devices to ensure that dispensing becomes much more easier to.
So for somebody who wants to invest in a VC office or something like that, so how do you support them? Are EMI options available or something like that?
Yeah. So who is interested in it? My best thing would be to contact the nearest Essilor person. Anybody in Essilor who is nearer to you, please contact them. There are a lot of business plans. There are a lot of ways in which you can acquire that instrument, because it is more customized to the individual, So each no two practices, I would say, practice in the same way. So we actually understand the customer. We understand, see how we can match their expectations with our expectations. So it's all about matching mutual expectations, and this has to be done one-to-one with the Essilor representative. So please get in touch with them and they'll give you, there are a lot of ways in which you can acquire these instruments. You can get in touch with them and then they'll give you all the ways in which you can acquire. Because today you find this instrument is widely spread. You know, there are many people who are actually using these instruments and they have been benefiting by these instruments.
Thank you, Anantalakshmi. Are there any questions from the audience? We can wind up. Anybody has any questions? So the recording of today's lecture will be available on our OCI YouTube channel, and also recordings of our previous lectures from the OCI Essilor Knowledge Plus series are also on the YouTube channel. You can go and revisit them again. And the fifth lecture will be announced shortly on all the social media platforms of Optometry Council of India. For those of you interested, stay tuned. We will be making announcement of the speaker as well as the topic that is going to be covered in the fifth lecture of the lecture series. I hope you have been enjoying these lectures, and today was a very interesting lecture, and I would like to thank Mehul for all his time and sharing his experience and expertise in this field. And I would also like to extend my thanks to Ms. Anantalakshmi for sharing her valuable time as well as her experience in this field and contributing towards this great discussion. And I thank all of you for joining us once again. Thank you so much. And bye from all of us here from Optometry Council of India. Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Have a great day. Thanks, Mehul. Thanks, Anita.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.